nope. Bye. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to DevOps Roundup. We left off with last week with a question on why would you ever pay for an app anymore?
What is the future of SaaS as we know it in an era where Cursor, Replit, Anti-Gravity, these tools are good and they're only getting better by the day. So what is the future? Like, does your subscription count all of a sudden drop to zero because you can just build it? We'll talk about it in today's episode. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, drop a like. And Sean, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it revolves around who's running the app. Where is it hosted? That still costs money. But developing the app. So do we still get paid as software developers to create apps if we can do it in an hour using AI?
But it costs money today. But what happens when you basically self-host again, like we did back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s?
Well, then you have to charge the customer enough to cover your self-hosting fees. But so do we see a resurgence of data centers at customer sites? Not data centers for AI. We definitely are going to have more data centers to run all these AI things, but
to store your apps locally for your companies.
Yeah, are most SaaS vendors? Well, the big SaaS vendors already have a solution for this, but the independent folks like us that are basically duplicating other apps using AI, have you written a new replacement for Jira yet?
Well, I mean, I think it's a very, very valid question and concern, right? Because what would that look like if we were to go build a new Jira? Because it's totally doable now.
Oh yeah,
right.
Well, it was doable before. It was just expensive to do it.
Right, but now for a few $100s, not hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
but just for a few $100, we could in theory build a new Jira. Heck, we could probably hackathon this thing through a weekend.
Definitely
functioning Jira by Monday.
and we can fix all the problems that we've always wanted to see fixed that just don't get any attention.
That's what we should do. We should build a Jira, right? Hear me out. Just tell it, take Jira, copy it, make Jira the way it is, and then feed it Jack and go fix all those problems from Jack.
And see what it does.
It would be the Jira that everybody wants.
Yeah. Now, then we just need to find a place to host it. Like, do we roll this into AWS somehow?
Or maybe we just go back to burn some disks and people just install it on their computer.
Make it. This is the on-prem solution for you.
Yes. With all the Jack fixes. 21 years of feature requests in Jira.Atlassian.com.
So that would be interesting because I think it would raise some lawsuits. And we'll have to see how that plays out. And does Atlassian win suing us for basically replicating data center? I guess you can ask the AI to make it legal proof that.
Right. No, well, I mean, so here, because we have some of this happening unraveling already, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw this news, but Disney, right? Bob Iger just announced an exclusive partnership between Disney and OpenAI.
Yes, I saw that.
Where OpenAI can now and exclusively has the rights to generate Disney-related content through
IP. Yeah.
So do companies, in order to survive, right? I think the mentality is if you can't beat them, join them, because you're not going to be able to beat the number of copycat clone that you're going to be able to make out of this with these tools is just going to be more than you're going to have more moles than you can whack.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. The Disney thing interests me because I was like, exactly it 100% is they're joining them because they can't beat them. Are they looking to move the legal question to OpenAI? So if other AI stuff starts doing things with Disney's IP, it's on OpenAI to go fight them and not Disney.
Does copyrights become a commodity then? Does copyrights even matter
Copyrights
at
have
that
always
point?
been a commodity.
But will it matter now?
Well, I think it
Because
will always
you
matter.
protect, hear me out. You created the copyright to protect
Mhm.
your R&D
Yeah.
years and years and years in secrecy.
Mhm.
I just heard that Coca-Cola never patented their
Yeah.
recipe, because if
Yeah.
they did, they would have had to publish the recipe,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Well,
But
someone
that's
just cracked it using AI.
yeah, I
Yeah.
heard that too, right?
Yeah.
But still, the premise here is that these laws that we've had for centuries have been around to protect you because of the hard work that it required for the
Yeah.
thing to be created. But now, if we're building things in 10 seconds or an hour,
Yeah.
do we need
Why should
copyright?
they
Like,
be? Well, that's interesting. Can we use AI to understand? My script I told it to run once an hour, and so 7 past the hour must be the time that it starts
you watched
running.
Silicon Valley?
Huh? Yeah, I watched all of them. I don't
Okay.
remember them as well as you do.
There's an episode where Guilfoyle built a bot that would tell it every time the price of Bitcoin dropped below a certain threshold, and it would go, "Brah!" Freak everybody out in the office. You should do that. Just every hour, every time somebody makes an announcement.
I did tell a story. I think I told a story on this podcast about my early days as a Unix sysadmin. This was back in the early '90s, and um, we the building had security guards that would have to badge in and out of each section of the building that we worked in, and everyone had Unix workstations on their desk. And so I created a script that would try to guess where the security people were at any given time, and then I ran audio files on other people's workstations, and the security people thought the building was haunted. Uh,
I've never heard of that story.
yeah,
Definitely was not on this podcast.
yeah. So that was just a quick thing in Perl using cron and catting audio files to dev audio on an old Sun workstation.
On the prankster. But still, I think I I'm very I don't know I don't even know how to put the words together. All I know is that why would I buy something when I can just now build it?
Yeah, yeah.
Is
Well,
is my
I agree with that statement. I believe that the population uh, doesn't even want to learn. The vast majority of people in the population doesn't want to learn even AI, let alone coding. So there will be enough people that want to buy something that didn't take us much to do in AI. Maybe roughly years of wanting something and then 30 minutes dealing with AI to code it. Um,
there's
but
yeah, I get what you're saying, right? There's gonna be a demographic that's like us, that we're super excited. I got I built this anti-gravity app, right? And immediately my son was like, "Don't you have a folder with all these ideas of things you wanted to work on over the last decade?" I'm like, "I do." And so I'm pulling
did
out
you
that
add the
folder.
folder to
No,
anti-gravity?
no, they're all on paper. So now I gotta like type
Oh,
it up and stuff.
now you have to type it in. So you need an AI assistant to type it in.
Yeah, but basically every idea that I've had since college for the last 15 years, I'm gonna be able to essentially now do it
Yeah.
easily, quickly. And then for people that I think this is also gonna create a unique opportunity. So this should drop the price of products, right? I think hopefully we don't get banned for this, but this application that we use to record this, it's called StreamYard. It is
Mhm.
expensive to
It is.
per month. It's like almost $100 per month. I've been wanting, and I think I shared this with you. I've been wanting a StreamYard where both you and I can share our screens at the same time,
Yes.
and that doesn't exist in the marketplace.
Well, also we can't share multiple screens. So I would like to have multiple windows in the backstage,
That I
and
can
then
open the
I can open and flip back and forth instead of having to stop
yeah,
sharing on one and then start
but
sharing on the other.
but 6 months ago, if we wanted to build that, we would have to go hire some software engineers, some QA testers. We'd have to go and figure out some good requirements, figure out if there's a market, right? A lot of stuff, millions of dollars of investments, because software engineers aren't cheap. And all of a sudden, Sean, again, over the weekend, we can build our own duck yard, duck pond.
Duck yard. So
Duck
why
pond?
is StreamYard's icon a duck? Anyway,
I don't know.
I don't disapprove, but I always call it the duck yard, and it's
Duck yard.
obviously not the name.
So we can. Well, I'm saying we can make the duck pond streaming service.
So yeah, I think that this is going to make the pricing model for apps, it's going to change. Like for all these AI tools, it's a consumption model. Once, because we talked about this in a previous episode, is once we don't necessarily need Jira directly, and it's just something that happens behind the scenes in your AI IDE. Why are we paying per user at that point? And how do software development company or software vendor companies keep the lights on? It's they have to move to something else other than a per user seat. And I hate the consumption model, but what else is there?
And I think it's going to be a smart model though, right? Because like even here in California, they're thinking about charging us per mile that we drive, and it's basically a consumption model.
Well, that's terrible.
I know. Tell me about it.
Well, how do they know?
It's gonna. I don't know. They'll probably have AI build a system.
Yeah. Well, I can say that I can see where so when I do my taxes, which I should be doing soon, I since I run a business, I check to see if I qualify for deduction on mileage with my vehicles and stuff like that. And it depends on each year if that holds true. But you typically enter your starting and your finishing miles per vehicle into whatever tax software you're using. So I guess they could use it. They could require everyone to do that.
But I think it'll be. I think the future of software looks. I think you might be on.
So Release Team, DevOps tool specialists. We provide professional services and software reselling around the leading software DevOps tools like Atlassian, GitLab, GitHub, JFrog, and others. To talk with us about DevOps, here's our contact information. Please call 866-887-0489 or via email at info@releaseteam.com.
It looks. I think you might be on something with the consumption. I think the future of software is going to be a freemium model where you get X number of consumption for free, and then you pay for anything above that consumption limit. And the differentiator in the marketplace is going to be build an application that is truly so simple and intuitive that anybody can use, and you build something that people want to use, and they'll pay for it. And I think gone will be the days where we pay like a per user, but you're just gonna have to be generous or less generous with your consumption limits.
Yeah, I think
that's a white paper to write up.
Yeah, I think that's the most likely licensing model shift that we'll see. But then it goes back to the question: is like if we can churn out something that replaces Jira in a couple hours, and find a place to host it and not get sued by Atlassian, what's stopping 1,000 or 100 million other people?
That's where you're gonna have to. I think marketing, word of mouth, and usability are gonna play a much more bigger role, right? If you have 10 apps that can do the exact same thing, you're going to start. I think it's gonna be like an interest graph type of thing, like in social media, right? I think you're slowly gonna gravitate towards the things that you tend to like more, or maybe you believe in a brand more.
But I think you're right where you're going with that. But what's stopping customer burnout at that point? If you and I are competing on creating the next DevOps application, and your usability is slightly better, and you're gaining customers, and I look, oh, what's different? Oh, they like his usability better. I fix my usability, and it's just we're just racing.
Well, that's why I think brand awareness and recognition and trust is going to play a critical role. Mm-hmm. Right? People are going to become super fans of these software companies. The same way, I mean, what's stopping? We have the same problem. Sean, we have the exact same problem with Nike. I mean, running shoes are running shoes. Why do some people swear by one brand over another brand?
Yeah, I hate the super fan. I've tried to never be a fanboy for a particular product or a particular company. I'll give merit where it's due, and I do have my favorites, but I stop myself short of becoming a fanboy.
Right, but is a T-shirt from Old Navy any different than a T-shirt from Costco than a T-shirt from?
No, it isn't. Yeah, but and I wear T-shirts from conferences. And yeah. So. I see that. I don't buy into that, but I understand that there's a lot of people that do. They're going to buy the Nike, or they're going to buy the Coach or whatever. I guess I'm married to someone that buys into that,
into the brand. Yeah. Right, but I think it's just going to expand because right now the brand is very tangible. I don't think people. I mean, we kind of see it a little bit with like your Netflixes and your Disney Pluses and stuff.
Because yeah, I see that as well. Again, I jump from one to the other depending on what I haven't seen or what I want to see. I think.
So, what if Apple has had it right this whole time? What if it's going to be about a walled garden that you create as a company? Apple draws you in with an iPhone, but they keep you there because then you have Apple Music, you have your Apple Photos, you have the Mac that has the connectivity to, so the integrativeness of all the interoperability.
You're an Apple guy. Did you fall for that?
Yeah, I mean, I have my entire office runs on Apple, right? But the point still is like I don't leave to go to another place because to leave would break the convenience of the interoperability of my things.
No, I think you're onto something with that, and I think there's enough people that will follow that pattern. I'm ready to ditch some of my home automation stuff because I just found out that that company is allowing law enforcement to grab the data off it without my consent.
Right.
And it's going to be a pain in the ass for me to change. It will actually be fun to get into that because the system has been running fine for 7 years with little to no, except for when I moved locations.
Yeah.
I moved here. I had to update it a little bit, but
what about if software becomes localized? Right?
What do you mean? Everything just comes back to running in your local.
No, not necessarily. But I'm saying what happens when you buy because what this is going to enable is your average plumber that lives in your local community will be able to build some sort of a monitoring system for your infrastructure, for your plumbing, right? But you could buy a global market or from the global market, right? You and I can go create some sort of a water leak detection system. Okay. Or your local plumber has the integratedness where they come out, they can physically service you and stuff like that. But that plumber in your area, your region might have better ideals or share similar ideas and customs that you have versus another company that basically what I'm trying to say is you're leaving one company because of their values. Well, what happens when anybody who shares your values can now build the products you want? So do you buy because buy because of the mission statement? When you have 100 companies that do the exact same thing, why would you pick one over the other 99?
Yeah,
that's the question.
We're going to try to become a race to the bottom on price.
Right. So that's one thing. So then you will have to figure out a different pricing model, which I think consumption is an option.
Yeah.
Right. I think you make it offer. I think everything has to start with the free tier.
Yeah, the way I'm trying to see the connections to when open source first became something. It used to be free software, and then they changed the name to open source. But I think there's some similarities now, because open source software is just going to have an explosion with these AI tools. And yeah, we're going to see more open source. And then do you run all the open source on some sort of local device?
Yeah, but
So
I think we might see more similarities with something like Fortnite or Minecraft, because Fortnite is completely free. You don't pay to buy Fortnite, yet Fortnite makes like $1 billion a day.
well, why don't we create another Fortnite instead? I think there's much more potential of us creating a video game system than reproducing Jira. Jira is not sexy.
But you might be onto something with that one. We probably should make a video game.
Yeah.
I have a pretty good one that we got to make.
Well, my son has been making a video game for, I don't know, 20 years or so. I should
anti-gravity.
see what he's doing with it.
That's actually one of the tests. One of my next tests that I'm going to do with anti-gravity, now that we locked down the Forge stuff, is I'm going to have it see if it can help me build a Roblox game.
Yeah,
because Roblox is not that simple to make. Like there's some nuances to it, but
isn't it just kind of a clone of Minecraft?
No,
I don't know exactly what it is because I don't have kids.
No, but
I don't have young kids. Yeah.
No, but what I am trying to say though, right? Like Minecraft, Roblox, Fortnite have something in common, and that is that the games are completely free to play. The servers are completely free to play. On the Xbox and on the PlayStation, you got to pay monthly subscriptions. Plus, you got to buy the $80 game to play it, right?
Is that where they're making their money, or is it a distributor in between that's making the money?
Well, there used to be a distributor in between, but that's been gone. It's just direct to consumer now, and so it's just profit. it's the publisher, the developer, the publisher, and then the distributor, which is Microsoft or Sony, right? But again, you on the console side, you have to pay $80 for a game. You got to pay $100 a year for access to play the game online, and then you got to pay for all the add-ons. On the computer side, the game is free, at least with respect to Fortnite, Roblox, right? The game is completely free, so my kid doesn't have to ask me for a credit card in any way, shape, or form, right? But the games still generate millions and millions, if not billions of dollars in revenue for the companies.
How? Just
through the intellectual property uniqueness of the game. So what Fortnite does really, 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 really well.
They're selling sneakers. Is that what they're doing?
They do. They do sell sneakers, digital ones, but they sell it for a small period of time. There's a window of opportunity to grab.
So microtransactions, and they're limiting the
and they never come back. So can you imagine a software world where you put out a feature that you can only pick up the week of Christmas, and if you don't get it, you'll never have that feature.
Yeah, but it's just digital pixels. Who cares? But there apparently enough people do that.
No, but I'm saying, like, if we were to bring some of those principles, like, we're trying to figure out what's the future of SaaS, right? This monthly subscription a month, paying a month is not going to work. So what happens when features get dropped in like these waves?
And so we create a clone of Jira, but if they want to change the icon, they have to pay us the 99 cents to change their icon, but they can only do it in the month of April.
Every 10 years.
Every 10 years. Well, we want different icons. So if you want purple, that's available once every 10 years in May. But if
bad example, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's a terrible example, but yeah.
But that's how Fortnite makes the money, right? Like there's waves, they call them seasons, where you buy into the season. And then if you want to guarantee to get all the items from the season, and the other part that Fortnite does is they make you fight for it, right? So certain items you have to play the entire season, and you will get it unlocked if you make it to the finish line. And so now you got people on the game, so you got the stickiness of people using and interacting with it, so that they can get that exclusive item that's going to go away and never come back again.
I'm glad I'm now too old for video games,
but I'm telling you that I think there's some merit from the way Fortnite does their version of video gaming that might influence how software is sold in the future.
Yeah, no, it's worth exploring. Well, we need to wrap things up for this episode.
Yeah, I got to drop to a call. But again, folks, let us know in the comment section, what do you think is the future of SaaS products?
SaaS help us out, because we're struggling on what do we think the future is going to be here.
Yeah, and also comment down below, right? The future of copyrights, the future of intellectual property. What happens when all this stuff is just commoditized? Like, if you and I have the same opportunity to create the same thing.
Yeah, why should we be allowed to, or one of us be allowed to hold that hostage for 70 years under copyright law when it took us no effort to create it?
Right, skill is officially out. Like, you don't have to be skilled anymore to create things.
Yeah. Well, Happy Birthday was copyrighted for almost 100 years, and how much skill was creating Happy Birthday? But anyway,
I think enough. You're gonna lose our audience, Sean.
Yeah, I know.
Almost as bad as me saying Tesla. Although we did do one episode without saying Tesla.
What did you do? You just brought it up. I was proud of you of not saying it when I was picking on fanboys. But all right, let's wrap this up.
We'll wrap it up. Did you see the Model S and X are completely dead now?
Nope. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Subscribe.